Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and today I'm doing my TBR for Sharkathon. Hi guys, so I'm outside because it's actually nice out. It's a little warm, I'm a little sweaty. I'm like, I probably should have been doing this a little bit later in the afternoon, but by that time it'll probably be too dark to film. So we're just gonna try this out. But since it's like Sharkathon, I was like, it'd be kind of nice to be outside. We got a pile of firewood back there, like sticks, because we trimmed up those trees behind me. And I see he's got one and he's obsessed. He keeps taking one out, chewing on it for a few seconds, and then going and get another one. So there's like 15 sticks just like in the yard. Anyways, that's Ranger if you guys are new here and don't know. So yeah, let's get into what this video is actually about. Sharkathon. I could have sworn I had a shark tooth necklace, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So I have a little sea turtle necklace instead, just to kind of, you know, get into the theme of the video a little bit. So Sharkathon is hosted by Bobby at Paginator over at the channel Paginator. I will of course link their video below and the announcements and all of the things. This is basically just a readathon that takes place during Shark Week, and this month Shark Week is going to be July 23rd to the 30th, so Sunday. I'm filming this on Thursday. I'm probably gonna get posted tomorrow, which is Friday, so you're probably seeing this on Friday. So on Sunday is Sharkathon. It's just the week-long readathon. I'm gonna go ahead and go through the prompts and what I'm reading and the whole bit. So before we get started, guys, you will see that there is a theme running through all of the books that I'm reading this week. Now, Bobby did say that if you read anything that is book or shark or ocean related, you get extra points. And because it is Shark Week, and because I'm such a huge fan of Shark Week, I'm such a huge fan of sharks and you know, in general, I want to read pretty much only shark books this readathon, or like primarily shark books, a couple ocean. I do have some others that are like based in the ocean. They're not necessarily sharks, but it's ocean based stories. So you will see that pretty much everything I'm reading is shark related. I'm really excited. So most of these books are actually going to be middle grade or children's, just because quite honestly I couldn't find any adult books of like fiction books about sharks that weren't like weird fetishy erotica stuff, and I'm like, no thank you. It's just some weird stuff out there. But yeah, I have no interest in that. So like I said, it's pretty much all just middle grade children's books, but I'm totally okay with that. It also means that I'll be able to read more books because they're gonna be short and quick to read. So I'm excited. She's doing two separate things this year. You can either do shark prompts or mythological creature prompts, or both. And now you don't have to read shark related or ocean related, water related books at all. You can read whatever you want. It's pretty open. And she is calculating the points, but we don't know how she's calculating the points. So it's secret. So it's like a secret point system. So that's pretty fun. So I'm gonna go ahead really quickly and read through the prompts, and then I will go over what I'm reading for each thing, because I'm kind of mixing up. You can do that too. You don't have to read strictly from the shark prompt. You don't have to read strictly from mythical creatures. You can definitely mix and match, and that is what I'm going to be doing. So we have 7 shark prompts and 7 mythological creature prompts. I am reading mostly the shark prompts for this readathon. I'm going to do my best to read 7 books, which is about a book a day, but I do have a few extra, 4 extra, so there's 12 total that I would like to get to, but 7, if I do that, I will figure this readathon complete. So starting off, shark number 1, prompt number 1 is whale shark, and this is to read your favorite genre. And y'all know that my favorite genres are fantasy and thriller, like thriller, mystery, suspense, that type of thing. I believe this one might actually be classified as horror, but I think it's like thriller, suspense, horror, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna count it. And I'm going to be reading The Deep by Peter Benchley. Is that how you say his name? I think so. This is the guy who wrote the book Jaws, and I am obsessed with that movie. I love Jaws. I love the franchise. I did read the book Jaws. I loved that book. The only thing I didn't like about it was there was this random sex scene that made like absolutely no sense to the story. It was just in there to be there, and it was just like, okay. So no idea if this one's gonna have that or not. But I don't even know what this is about, to be honest, because that's the back. There's like nothing that tells you what this is about, other than it's a new novel by the author Jaws. Let me see if there's anything in here that tells you. Obviously, it relates to ocean stuff. So, okay, we're reading the author's note. It looks like it has to do with the Bermuda Triangle and the Spanish trade with the New World and shipwrecks. So, shipwrecks and the Bermuda Triangle, that sounds amazing. And like I said, I loved Jaws. So and yes, I do know how problematic that book is in the sense of what it did to sharks, how awful that was. And the author actually came out years later and wrote a whole other book about how his book was like, it's fiction, we should not demonize these animals. They were actually very beautiful, amazing animals. Great white sharks is what I'm talking about. If those of you who are unaware, I'm sure pretty much all of you know what Jaws is, but just in case you don't, it's about a killer shark in the East Coast. My gosh, South Carolina or something over there? Massachusetts? I can't remember exactly. But anyways, I'm going on too much about stuff that doesn't matter. So The Deep is like a thriller written by the author of Jaws. That's what I'm reading for whale shark, favorite genre. Okay, so prompt number 2 is Pajama Shark, which is to read a book in your pajamas or comfy clothes for an hour. And I am choosing to read Shark Summer by Ira Marcus. This is a graphic novel. You can kind of see, here is some of the artwork here. And this one it's like, I don't know if they're going to actually say Jaws in here, but it says blockbuster movies, secret histories, and evil sharks. After this summer, you'll never go in the water again. When a Hollywood film crew arrives on Martha's Vineyard with a mechanical shark and a youth film contest boasting a huge cash prize, disgraced pitcher Gail Blue Streak Blair sees a chance to turn a bad season into the best summer ever. After recruiting aspiring cinematographer Elijah Jones and moody director Maddie Gray, Gail sets out to uncover the truth of the island's own sea monster and win the prize money. But these unlikely friends are about to discover what happens when you turn your camera toward the bad things lurking below the surface. So it pretty much sounds like they're filming Jaws, because that's, like I said, maybe it is Martha's Vineyard that they did film it on. I honestly cannot remember. But it sounds like they're filming Jaws. Here's the back of the cover. So yeah, I don't know whether or not they're gonna call it Jaws. I don't know if I don't know how that's gonna happen, but it's basically like Jaws, what they're filming it. So I'm like, yeah, of course I'm gonna read this. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. I'm gonna read this in my PJs. Sorry if the lighting gets a little funky at any point in time. Again, I'm outside dealing with the sun and it's setting behind the trees, so you'll see, you know, this beautiful filtered light. All right, I'm skipping prompt number 3, which is a Mega Mouth, which is a hyped book, because, you know, I don't think any of these books are hyped. I haven't seen anyone really talk about any of these books that I'm planning on reading, so we're just gonna skip it and move on. So prompt number 4 is Blue Shark. Read a book with blue on the cover or ocean or water in some way. And the book I'm going to be reading for this prompt is Fins, and this is by Randy Wade Wright. This might be considered a hyped book. I don't know, because I have heard about this one before. Also, you are totally allowed to double up, triple up, do all the things. So, you know, multiple books work for multiple prompts, however multiple prompts work for the same book, whatever you want to do. This one deals with the shark fin soup trade. This one specifically is about a marine biologist who needs help protecting these sharks off of the Florida coast. And so he enlists 3 kids, Luke, Maribel, and Sabrina. Luke is from the Midwest and the sisters are from Cuba. They all 3 feel like a fish out of water. So it's basically just them getting to, I think it's like a coming of age kind of story. This is definitely a middle grade, working with this biologist to try and stop these poachers and save these sharks. They are specifically trying to save the black tip sharks. So this one, as you guys can obviously see, there's blue on the cover, and because there's sharks, it very much looks like this is, you know, water. So it works. Okay, prompt number 5 is Wabagon, and that is to read a book with an interesting cover. So the book I'm choosing to read is called The Line Treader, and this is by Kate Allen. And look at this cover, guys. Is that not fascinating? Oh my gosh, I swear I didn't have my light on and there's a glare. Oh my gosh. It's just like there's these, you know, she's like on land, but yet the sky is full of sea creatures. Isn't that beautiful? I think the colors, I just think this is a, not only is it a beautiful cover, but it's an interesting cover. I think it works. We have interesting cover and beautiful cover, but they're like for, the different things. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and read this to you. Wherever the sharks lead, Lucy, Everhart's marine biologist mother, was sure to follow. In fact, she was on a boat far off the coast of Massachusetts collecting shark data when she died suddenly. Lucy was 7. Since then, Lucy and her father have kept their heads above water, thanks in large part to a few close friends and neighbors. But on one steamy June day in her 12th summer, the tide brings a great white. And then another tragedy, cutting short a friendship everyone insists was meaningful, but no one can tell Lucy what it all meant. To survive a new wave of grief, Lucy must grab the line connecting her depressed father, a stubborn fisherman, and a curious old widower to her mother's unfinished research on the great white's return to Cape Cod. Only with their help and her mother's beloved sharks will Lucy finally be able to look beyond what she's lost and toward what's yet to be discovered. So definitely dealing with grief and dealing with the ocean and sharks and things. So I think it's going to be good, and it's a middle grade. It sounds like it's a hard-hitting middle grade. It says it's funny, poignant, and moving. The Lion Treader is a story of nature's enduring mystery and a girl determined to find meaning in it. So yeah, I just think this is a really, really interesting cover. So I'm going to be reading this for this prompt. Oh no, he's excited! Run, Ranger, run! Come on! Go, go, go! Can you see him in the background? Come on, run! He's got the zooms. Oh my gosh! He'll do this. He'll literally run laps around my yard. Just because he can. Every morning, every night. I have to come out here with him. And I have to chase him. I literally just stand there and go, rah! And he runs and runs and runs and runs. Anyways, prompt number 6 is Cat Shark, which is to read a book with an animal on the cover. And this one is not actually shark related, but it is ocean related. And I'm choosing to read Whale Fall by Daniel Cross. You guys, okay, this one could definitely work for interesting cover too, because look at that. Like, this is literally about a scuba diver who gets swallowed by a sperm whale and has an hour to live before his air runs out. So this is like horror, but like not, I mean, I don't know. It sounds fascinating. It sounds fascinating. I do know that there was another part when they were talking about this book, or in the description of this book online, that says this man is also dealing with a strained relationship with his father. And so this is kind of, you've got dual timelines or multiple timelines. So you got 2015, and then you got 2018, but then you have other snippets in here. There's 2020, but then you have snippets where it's like his PSIs, like it tells you like what how much air he has left. And some of the chapters, I mean, are like ridiculously short. Like that's a chapter right there, like that one page. So this is gonna be an interesting read. I don't know if it's dual POV or if it's just like whatever, but I will find that out. It says The Martian meets 127 hours in this action adventure thriller about a scuba diver who's been swallowed by an 80-foot, 60-ton sperm whale and has only 1 hour to escape before his oxygen runs out. It just sounds fascinating. This is an arc. This comes out on August 8th. So I obviously was like, I want to get this read before then to get a review up. I've been saving this book to read until now because I wanted to read it close to the time it came out, and like summertime and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely an animal on the cover. There's a sperm whale right there. So I am excited about this one. Okay guys, and then prompt number 7 is Pygmy Shark, and that is to read a book with 200 pages or less. And the book I'm going to be reading is Magic Treehouse, number 53. This is by Mary Pope Osborne, and this is Shadow of the Shark. I don't know what this is about other than it's Magic Treehouse. I was never really a big Magic Treehouse reader when I was younger. I've read a couple of them. My younger brother, though, loved these books. Let's see. It says, when Teddy, the young sorcerer, offers to send Jack and Annie on an amazing vacation to the coast of Mexico, they can't wait to go. And with 3 magical coins to help them have a wonderful time, this is one trip that can't go wrong, right? Everything starts out perfectly as Jack and Annie paddle a raft out to the coral reef. But when a hungry shark attacks, their dream vacation turns into a nightmare. Can Jack and Annie get back to the treehouse? Will there be more sharks? Or is there another scary surprise that awaits them? Mary Pope Osborne brings her trademark combination of adventure, history, and humor in the latest edition to the best-selling Magic Treehouse series. And if you guys can see here, it only has 130 pages. So that means definitely under 200, so it works for this prompt. Okay, and then like I said, since I skipped prompt number 3, the next one that would count for my 7 is prompt number 1 through the mythological sea creatures. There we go. So prompt number 1 for that is to read a book. It's mermaids, and it's read a book about mermaids. So that will conclude my 7 books that I am basically like, yes, I really want to read for this readathon. So the book I'm going to read for that is The Little Mermaid, because it's about mermaids. I have actually never read the original source material. This is by Hans Christian Andersen, and this is a illustrated, like, I mean, it's basically a picture book, right? A picture book, The Little Mermaid. Yeah, I've never read it before, so I figured, you know what? Now is a great time to. And this was the only version I could get my hands on in my library. They didn't have any other copies available. And this is, I'm assuming, illustrated by Lisbeth Zweger, but it'll be interesting to read this. So this one works from Prompt About Mermaids. Okay, so like I said, those are the 7 books that I like 100% want to read for this readathon. I will consider this readathon complete if I read those 7 books, but I do want to, you know, I'm a little extra and I want to read some more books. So I do plan on reading 3 more prompts from the mystical creature section. So the other prompts I want to read are Grindeloo, which is a scary book or a book with a monster, and I am choosing to read I Survived the Shark Attacks of 1916. Now, I do not see sharks as monsters. Obviously, I don't agree with that, but in this situation, I think people would say this was a monster shark. This could also be a very scary book. I don't think it'll be scary to me. I know the story. It's considered the real life Jaws, okay? So back in 1916, actually, I have the book version and the graphic novel version. So here's, you just got, you know, the book version, which that's kind of a scary picture. And then you got the graphic novel version, also a scary picture. Here's kind of the artwork in the graphic novel. Okay, so yeah, what had happened was back in 1916, there was a series of shark attacks where along the Jersey shore. Basically, they believe it was a bull shark swam upriver, and it was literally in the river, and a bunch of people got attacked and killed from a shark, and people were like, what the frick, there's no sharks in rivers, right? Well, bull sharks, we know now, can live in brackish water, which means they can actually go into, like, I think they can actually survive for a short time in fresh water as well. I can't quite remember, but I know they can survive in brackish water, which brackish water is a mixture of salt and fresh, so it's like where the ocean and the rivers meet. That's brackish water. And so the shark basically went up the river, or let's see, it says here, creek, Matawan Creek. I guess in here they're saying it's a great white, but I believe in reality, it was a bull shark, because great whites can't survive in a creek. And I don't think unless it was like a baby great white, it would be too big. Anyways, this is based on a true story. Shark Week has definitely done stories about this before, so if you're interested, you should check out Shark Week, like their backlist. They have it. I don't even know what they're doing this week for Shark Week, like what new show. I haven't really seen much about it except for Jason Momoa is hosting. I'm so excited because I love Jason Momoa. I think he's gonna be a great host. So yeah, I'm really excited. But anyways, basically the both of these, this is the novel and this is the graphic novelization of the novel. I'll be reading these for the scary book or monster. Again, like I said, I don't see sharks as monsters, but I know some people do, and especially back then, like when you're being attacked, they're like, it's a monster. So that is what I'm considering for this prompt. I'm skipping the Kraken prompt, which is to read a 500+ book. So I'm moving on to Calypso, which is a female lead. I'm choosing to read the book Shark Lady by Jess Keaton. This is about a female shark biologist. I don't really know much more about it. I cannot remember if this is a biography or like a fictionalized biography. I'm waiting for it to come from the library. It's on hold. I don't know if it'll be here in time, so I might have to pick something else for this prompt. I'm sure a couple of my other books that I have female leads, so I could just double up for that, but I'm trying to read a separate book for every prompt. So that is what I have for that. Hopefully it'll come in the library before the week is up. Okay, then after that I have Siren, which is beautiful cover. This is another one I don't actually have physically with me. Again, I'm waiting for it at the library. I do have the ebook from Script. I'm not the biggest ebook reader. I don't have a Kindle or anything, so it's difficult for me to read on my phone. I'm hoping to eventually get a Kindle, but until then, I'm not the biggest ebook reader, so I'm really hoping that it comes from the library, but if it doesn't, I have access to it from Scribd. Anyways, that is Julia and the Shark, and this is by Karen Millward Hardgrave. And once again, I don't know what this one's about. I don't remember. Obviously, I looked it up like when I was looking for a book. It's a beautiful cover. You guys can see it's stunningly beautiful. I don't remember what else it's about. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you can look it up if you'd like, but that's the one I'm reading for Siren. Well, I'm gonna hope to anyways. Again, like I said, these last ones here are all I want to read, but I'm not prioritizing them. I'm prioritizing the first 7 that I talked about. Okay, and then the last one that I have a book specifically picked out for is Helpy, which is to read a book about mythology, a fairy tale, or folklore. And I'm choosing to read Fear the Drowning Deep by Sarah Glenn Marsh. I have had this on my TBR, my physical TBR, for many years. This sounds really good. I've just never gotten around to it. Again, this is not a shark book, but it does have to do with mystical creatures. I'm pretty sure. This sounds like it's like a mermaid or a siren story. Some secrets are better left at the bottom of the ocean. Ridley Corkill loathes the sea and longs to leave her small island to see the world. When she was young, she watched helplessly as her granddad was lured off the cliff into the watery grave, a smile on his face. She insisted there was some sort of creature out there. The people of Port Corey just thought her mad. Now in 1913, Now in 1913, birdies, did I say birdie or bridie? Briddies? I don't know. Haunting memories are dredged to the surface when a young woman's body mysteriously washes up on shore. Was she the victim of an accident, a murder, or the stuff of late night tales? I was going to call her Birdie. I think that's actually what it is. Birdie is convinced that her granddad's killer has returned to the Isle of Man. Then she finds Flynn, an outsider who can't remember who he is or where he's from. Wounded on the beach, she takes him home to heal. And as 1 week slips into the next, the boy with striking blue eyes and a mess of black hair slowly steals her heart. But when more girls vanish from Port Corey, Fenn becomes the obvious suspect, and he has been keeping terrible secrets, ones that would keep the most stalwart, I don't know, soul from the sea. Can Birdie discover who or what is plaguing her town before those she loves most are lost to the waves? Whew. Okay, that was a mouthful. So anyways, it sounds like sirens are calling people into the water, or mermaids, or some kind of mystical sea creature. So it might end up being nothing at all. It might be something completely human, but I'm going to read it and find out. And since this one, you know, it sounds like it has to do with mythology or like a folk tale, like folklore, mystical creature type of thing, I'm counting it for this prompt. Okay, and then the last one, like I said, I'm not doing is Love in Some Way. I'm sure actually that one probably has love in it. If I read a book that has love in it, then I will go ahead and just mark it down, but I'm not picking out a separate book specifically for that prompt. So those are all the prompts. Those are all the things that I want to read. Well, not all the things I want to read. Those are all the prompts that I have for the readathon. Now, I have some other books I want to read as well because you know me and I'm extra and I gotta have some extra stuff here. I have a huge pile of books here that aren't necessarily for any specific prompt. I mean, they might fit prompts, so whatever, but they're not like my priority. My priority are those ones back there. So anyways, though, these are just some extra books that I happen to find that are about sharks that of course I want to read because I want to read all the shark books this month or this week during Shark Week. I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to find the time to read all these books and watch Shark Week and edit and film and do all the stuff. I don't know, but you know what? I'm going to do it because I'm dedicated, okay? So, first off, we have Surrounded by Sharks by Michael Northrup. And this one, it says he couldn't sleep, that's how it all started. This one I think is kind of like a scary book. Anyways, when Davy wakes just as the sun is rising, he can't wait to slip out of the cramped hotel room he's sharing with his family. Leave it to his parents and kid brother to waste an entire day of vacation sleeping in. Davy heads straight for the beach, book and glasses in hand, not bothering to leave a note. As the sparkling ocean entices him, he decides to test the water. Never mind the no swimming sign. But as the waves pull him farther from shore, Davy finds himself surrounded by water and something else too, something circling below the surface, watching, waiting. It's just a matter of time. So yeah, boy in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by sharks. Nobody knows he's there. Yeah, that one is one that I would like to get to. Then I have this one, which I'm actually reading book 1 because this is book 3 in a series, so I gotta read book 1 and 2. I'm reading book 1 now. I hope to finish that tonight, and then I can hopefully, before Sunday, read book 2 so that I can get on to book 3. This is Simon Thorne and the Shark's Cave by Amy Carter. Like I said, this is book 3 in a series. Book 1, we're following this young boy. I think he's like 12, middle grade age. And he basically finds out that he can talk to animals, and then not only can he talk to animals, but he can shift into animals. But there's like these different factions. They're called animalgrams, right? Animalgram? Gam. Animal gam. And there's different factions, and he's like trying to figure out what's going on. And this is book 3, and it has sharks. I don't really want to read too much into what this is because there might be spoilers from book 1 and 2. All I know is that this is about a boy who, like I said, can shift into animals, talk to animals, and this one happens to be underwater with sharks, I'm guessing. So that's why this one I chose to read it for this week. Then we have this one, which is Treasure Tracks, and I don't know how shark related this one is specifically. I mean, there is a shark on the cover right there. This is by S.A. Rodriguez. This is about a young boy and his grandpa, who basically are treasure hunters. They go on a secret quest to find a lost treasure swept to sea. But when their first mission takes a near deadly turn, leaving his abuela weak and unable to speak, the kid is left to navigate the hunt alone. And then his dad helps out, but his dad's like super boring. They don't have the best relationship and everything. So basically, I think it's like, you know, they're trying to find this underwater treasure, this lost treasure, and him and his dad have to learn to get along. And there just might be sharks involved. So yeah, this is definitely one that I'd like to read as well. Next up, we have a graphic novel. This is Great White Shark Adventure, written by James O. Ferroli and illustrated by Joe St. Pierre. The shark population is in danger and there are ways we can help. The team: famed explorer Fabian Casteau, his research experts, and 2 junior explorers. The destination: off the coast of South Africa, home to the world's largest concentration of great white sharks. The mission: investigate the sighting of a massive shark and tag it so it can be tracked and protected. Join Fabian Casteau and his team and come face to face with great white sharks, whales, seals, dolphins, penguins, and more in this thrilling exploration of the fascinating and sometimes dangerous ocean world. So that's what this is. It's a little graphic novel. You can kind of see, here's an example of the artwork, so should be pretty quick to read. Next up, we have Shark King by R. Kiko Johnson. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. So we have, here are some of the illustrations. Meet Nanu, a boy craving to be as he truly is. From the islands of Hawaii comes the electrifying tale of Nanu. Award-winning cartoonist transports young readers to the lush tropical shores of his native Hawaii. I do believe the Shark King story, I think, is a myth, because I kind of saw something else about it. I believe it's a myth, and now I could be completely wrong. I could be thinking of something else. But what I saw when I was researching kind of different books to read, I'm pretty sure it was the Shark King, like a different version of it. It was this young boy fell overboard in the water, and a shark, they thought the shark was going to eat him, but instead it brought the boy back to his mother in its jaws safely. And so then the boy was said to be touched by the gods, and I think that's what this one is about. To my knowledge, this is an old Hawaiian folk tale, but obviously I'll read it and find out if that's true or not. Okay, almost done, you guys, I promise. Next, I have a field guide of mermaids. This is by Emily B. Martin. This just looked really cool, and since I was doing mermaid prompt, I could read this one instead of Little Mermaid or whatever. But yeah, this is just, again, another picture book kind of situation. I think it's like written like a non-fiction, which is pretty fun. It just tells you about all these different types of mermaids. Yeah, I mean, it's literally a field guide. It's basically like a nonfiction thing where you like talk about all the different types of animals, but this talks about all the different types of mermaids. Okay, so the next book is The Great White Shark Scientist. This is written by Cy Montgomery and photographs by Keith Ellenbrogen. Basically, it's following a shark scientist, Dr. Greg Small, and as he is trying to research great white sharks, and the author and photographer went with him to study these sharks and be able to get information to be able to write said book. So I'm excited. It's a nonfiction, perfect to read during Shark Week. And the last book I have that is like more than perfect to read during Shark Week is Shark Week. Everything You Need to Know by Martha Brockenbrough. Yeah, it's literally just a book about Shark Week, the official tie-in to Discovery's massively popular Shark Week. Again, it's another picture book, nonfiction, just talks about Shark Week, really. Gliding through the ocean at breakneck speeds, a fin just skimming the surface of the water, the biggest jaws you've ever seen. These are the iconic images that flash through all our minds when we think of sharks, but there's so much more to discover about the majestic predators of the sea. If you're already a fan of Discovery's phenomenon Shark Week, then you'll love this book. From the unique look of the prehistoric whorl-toothed shark to the hunting techniques of the great white, all the thrills and chills of Shark Week are now here for year-round reading, filled with photos, first-hand accounts of shark attacks, and unbelievable facts. Did you know that some sharks live in volcanoes? I have heard of that, actually. This book is for every shark fanatic who wants to get even more up close and personal with these apex predators. Now you can live every week like it's Shark Week. So I saw this and I was like, well, of course I have to get this. I mean, it's Shark Week, and this readathon is celebrating sharks and Shark Week, taking place during Shark Week. So like, how many times can I say that? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so guys, those two piles of books behind me are all of the books that I want to read next week, like in the week. Again, will I get to all of them? Maybe, maybe not. Most of them are super short, quick, easy reads. So I'm hoping, like I said, the first 7 I talked about are the ones that I very much so want to read above all else. If I can read those 7, then I will consider this readathon a completion. But you know, of course, I want to read all the books and watch all the shows, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. But yeah, that is my TBR for Shark Weekathon. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Bobby or Pageinator, for doing this. This is really fun, and I'm excited to join in and see what everybody else is reading. So if you are participating in this, please comment down below, let me know, tag me in your video. If you made one, I'd love to see your TBRs. Puppies. Anyways, I'd love to see what you guys are reading. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what your thoughts are, if you are a fan of Shark Week. If you are not a fan of Shark Week, why not? It's amazing. You should watch it. Anyways, though, guys, I'm gonna go get this dog, get this yard cleaned up, because it's starting to get dark and I think mosquitoes are gonna start coming out soon. So I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye.